Hi guys, so one of the common things that people comment sa YouTube is that they have a hard time strumming and figuring out strumming. And even in my teaching guitar, that's one of the most common problems that my students have. So in this video, I'm just gonna show you how to solve that problem and how to be better with strumming. Because really, um, they say that what you do with your left hand, this is what you know, but this is how good you are. It's really a lot about your right hand. So, um, one of the first things that you need to be able to do is to subdivide time. I think, when beginners start learning guitar, they often just think of the pattern, like, what's the pattern? What's the strum pattern? Um, it's really not about that because if you're able to subdivide time and count time, it's not a problem. The strumming pattern is not a problem, right? There are many ways that you can strum a song. It's not just one strumming pattern. So, okay, so the first thing that you need to do is to look at how you strum. So, the optimal strumming technique is to strum from here. So you want your wrist to be loose. So that, but the strumming pattern is not like down, up this way. I mean, you can, but you really can't build up speed with this kind of strumming pattern. And your arm tenses up. And you don't want that. You don't want to be tense when you're strumming. You want to be loose. Okay? The your normal, your regular motion should come from a rotation from here and not an up and down, right? So if what you need to do is to raise your hand up like that, and then you drop your hand. So you raise your wrist, I mean, and you drop your hand. So if you stretch out your arm, it's like if your hands are wet and you're trying to remove the water, you shake it this way. That's really the strumming pattern, as opposed to this. You see how fast you can go this way? It's not that fast as opposed to this motion. Okay, so that's the motion that you want. Okay, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, right? And you don't necessarily have to strum all of the strings. Just target the middle for now. And then later you can add the down, up motion, but that's more for accenting, right? Or like something like that. But your regular motion should be a rotation and your wrist should be up this way. Okay, so here's what you need to do. First, you need to be able to count time. So we're gonna count 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So you just go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, that's really, really easy. So if you already know chords, you can practice that, like just a G to C chord. And you really just want to be able to switch on time. Some people, the reason why they never learn to strum is because they go like this. They stop, and then they make sure that they put everything right before they strum again. I think it's better to just keep strumming and just force your left hand, whether it's ready or not, you just keep strumming, right? This should be steady, your right hand, and your left hand should be the one to adjust. Alright, so it's okay if you go like this. Here, it's taking time to adjust. Alright, so you do simple exercises like that. Changing chords. It doesn't have to be just G and C. You can use G and E minor or D or C. It doesn't really matter what the chords are. The most important thing is to just keep your right hand consistent. Okay, So you're able to down strum right on the numbers on 1, 2, 3, 4. The next step is to add ends in between the down strum. So you go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So 1, 2, 3, 4 now becomes, so 1, 2, 3, 4. If we end the ends, it becomes like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The tempo is still the same. It's still 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? I didn't really go faster. I'm just subdividing that space into 2 equal halves. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, you do this exercise for any of the chords that you know. 2 chords is enough. Remember to strum with a rotation, and your wrist should be up. Now the next step is to subdivide into 4 equal parts. So instead of going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, now you go 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. Again, I'm not speeding up the tempo. It's still the same. Instead of 1 and, I'm just going 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and the tempo is still the same. But now you have to go up and down faster in a sense, because you have to fit in 4 equal strums in each space, right? You have 4 equal strums, 4, 4, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. You might have to do that for a while. Practice that for a couple hours, or just until you get used to it, right? 1E and a 2E and a 3E. You can just mute the string so you don't have to worry about your left hand. Oh, by the way, to mute, you just touch it. Don't press down, just touch. 1E and a 2E and a 3E. 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. An exercise you could do is just to move your hand whenever you're at 1. So just move it anywhere. For example, 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. Okay? Now, once you're able to do that, then a lot of those strumming patterns that you're learning is really just those subdivisions in different orders, meaning it's still 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a, but let's remove all the E's. 1E, okay, 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. Now you have that kind of strumming, right? So you go. All I really did there was I'm still doing the up motion, but I'm not touching the string. I'm going 1E and 2E and 3E and okay? And even some of the most popular strummings are really just some sort of the one that you just did where you subdivide into 4, that's a 16th note pattern. Some of the most popular strum patterns are just 16 notes, like this one. This one. Look at my hand, I'm still doing the subdivision. right? So the whole time, my right hand is just going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Like right now, right? I'm not really doing a pattern. I mean, I guess there is like one main pattern, but I'm doing variations of it all the time. I'm not just going. I could do that, but I could also add or subtract. As long as I'm just going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. I decide when to touch the strings and I decide when not to touch the strings. And whenever you do that, you can come up with your own patterns. Okay. I also want to address the other issue where some people can learn the strums, but then when they start singing, they get lost. You could overcome that with practice, but I think the main problem there usually, at least with what I've encountered with my students, is that they also don't know the rhythm of the lyrics or the words. So you also have to practice the rhythm of the singing separately and get the rhythm of the singing right. Because when you're singing, there's a different rhythm to it, and when you're strumming, that's also a different rhythm. So it's kind of like doing two things at the same time. So even if you get the strumming right, but you don't know the right placement of the words, then it's gonna sound like your strumming is wrong, but it's not your strumming that's wrong. It's your singing that's wrong. Yeah, I hope that helps. I'll do a part 2 if you guys have any questions.